Everyone. All right, there we go. Happy Tuesday. Here we are. I want to talk to you today about freedom. This is such a big concept and it's so powerful. Shut the door there and let you all peek into my closet. But what a powerful concept this is freedom. And we think about freedom in like this very tangible way of like, I want time freedom. I want location freedom. I want financial freedom. I want freedom from like chaos and drama and busyness, or right, all of these ways that show up in the external world for us. And we think that by accessing them or creating that in our life, that we will feel free. But I want to tell you something, like freedom is something that comes from within. And I will tell you that firsthand because I've experienced it. Okay, like I have been, or like in the past, had been on this lifelong search for freedom. I wanted to feel free ultimately, right? But thought that it was tethered to these concepts of like, when I quit my job, then I'll feel free. When I don't have to do these obligations, then I'll feel free. When this person stops nagging me, then I'll be free, right? Like all of these different ways that we will box ourselves in, or like, once I pay off my debt, then I'll be free and I can do whatever I want. Like that's a really big one. Um, all of these things, like these branches of freedom, and they're totally valid, they're totally fucking legit. I highly recommend cultivating those points of freedom in your life as they're aligned for you, because it's wonderful. It gives you freedom to a certain extent, but the truth of freedom is that it's not outside of you, it's already in you. Like, and it's not even a thing to get, it's just what you are. It's really your natural state of being is free. And we give our power away to so many different sources and people and whatever, our jobs and families and circumstances, and then we don't feel free. But no matter the circumstance, it's that we are free. And if we don't feel that internally, like if we're feeling like a lot of time for me in the past, and even sometimes now when I'm like feeling kind of weird in life, I'll get these feelings of like stuckness or trapped or suffocating, right? In a very almost like physical sense, as well, like that physical connection to our emotions that are coming through. And I'm feeling it. Now, at this juncture in life, I know that that's an indicator of something's not in alignment for me. Something is really impacting my ability to connect with my natural state of freedom, because it just is. Like we are always free if we choose it to be. And really, a lot of our freedom is given away to other outside circumstances is because we're in resistance to what is. We resist the reality and the truth of what's going on in whatever circumstance right now, and then we don't feel free. But when we just like surrender to what is and come into now and like remember who the fuck we are, and like, you know, the power and truth that we hold within us for ourselves, that's when we start cultivating actual freedom. This level of freedom that is like sustainable and can always be accessed, right? Like, even if I have moments now where I'm not feeling free, and that's the I that I talk about in that sense, is more of that like ego mind, because the soul is always free. That's not a thing. That's not even a thing that can be really like trapped in any sense. So when we're not feeling free, no, also bring awareness to the fact that that is like an egoic concept, you know? And of course, there may be things that we feel trapped in, and like really also taking a next level look at that and taking responsibility for where we are. There was a time in life where I couldn't take responsibility for anything and I blamed it on every outside circumstance, right? Like, I'm not happy because my boss won't give me a promotion. I'm not happy because like I don't like where I live. I'm not happy because I don't have enough time to do what I want, right? Like all of these things, you know, that happiness and freedom really go hand in hand for me. Um, right? Like just blaming everything. And it wasn't until I really started taking radical responsibility for my own fucking life and my choices. And I could see very clearly how I got to where I was at certain points and was like, okay. And then being able to be present to the reality of what is, because also that resistance, like I was saying, blocks us from our natural state of freedom because we're in denial. We're like in denial of the matter of fact of what is going on in our life. Can we hold space for that and then take action to change it? Can we cultivate a sense of freedom within ourselves? Because that's where it starts, is inside. Our inner or external world is always a reflection of our internal, right? They're always coming back and forth. It's kind of like this infinity loop, is what I think of. And so it's back and forth, back and forth. And so once we kind of pause and reflect and go inward and do what we need to do with ourselves to access our natural state of freedom, then our external circumstances will begin to shift, because that's the only natural response that there is, because life is a constant reflection of us. I have witnessed that firsthand in my own life and the life of people that I work with, time and time again. We are creating our reality all of the time, every second of the day. So we can create our sense of freedom and like really cultivate that for ourselves and live from that space and that vibration instead of letting the external control us, because that's an illusion, right? That's not really a thing. We are allowing, like, again, like giving that power away so we can take it back and be free within. Okay. And so this is something that I work with my clients quite a bit on, is like freeing themselves from all of those stories and those things that are keeping them attached to that idea that everything is on the outside, right? And like letting them have the space to really come home into themselves and do that deep and powerful work to have a foundation of freedom within, so then it can be mirrored outside. So if you're interested in that, in really doing the deep dive and you want to do some one-on-one work, I do have some energetic alignment sessions available. I've got very limited spaces for that. So feel free to shoot me a DM if you want to book a call with me and have a little QT. This is like the stuff of life, and we just go in, right, with like deep intention. Our higher selves really come and talk to each other and really go to the next fucking level. So with that, I love you much. And today was brought to you by the letter F, and I'll catch you on the flip side.